Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather and today is Monday, May 12th of 2025. So I had defrosted a pot roast and a lamb roast this week I thought my son would be home all week, but he's already gone back. So my pot roast is defrosted, my lamb roast is almost defrosted, so I'm going to make the pot roast tonight. So what I did is I just pulled out all the veggies that were in my crisper drawer and they're not looking so good. Like my carrots are a little soggy or wilted kind of thing. Like my celery, should have been cooked like a week ago, but they kind of got missed, my radishes. So I just got my roasting pan here full of cold water. So I've just got my vegetables soaking. So I've got Brussels sprouts, carrots, radishes, green onions, celery, and asparagus. And I also have cauliflower. So I'm just going to remove this. Sometimes you can twist. I don't know. I read something that you're supposed to be able to twist this off sometimes. I can never do that. I've seen videos of people doing that. So either they are stronger or maybe they pre-cut, because I always find you have to cut these off. I'm just going to trim this off here. I'm just going to let this sit in here as well. I'm just going to let these soak in cold water. I'm just going to run to get my daughter from school and get her to work. I just thought while I'm doing that, this is a good chance for these veggies to soak in the water. Maybe they won't be so like mushy looking, but they're just going to get cooked in the oven. So I'm just going to leave those, and I have to run out and grab the pot roast as well. It's in the fridge in the garage, but just want to kind of get this kind of started before I head out. But this is what I like to do when I've got like some of my produce that I'm going to cook, but doesn't look its best. I just soak it for a little while in some ice cold water. I will add some more water to this because there's not enough in here. It's less than half full. So I'm going to top up the water and just let this sit. It is 20 after 3, depending on which clock I look at. My clocks are all wrong again. Yeah, so I'm going to run to get my daughter from school to work, and then I'll be back. And when I come back, we'll prep the veggies and get the roast in the oven. Okay, so it's just a very small pot roast. So yeah, it's 1.550 kilograms. So yeah, meat's very expensive where I live. So this was $50 for this small little pot roast. So I've got it ready. Just going to put this in my fridge, and I'm just going to prep the veggies and then get everything in the oven and cooked. All right, I'm back. So the veggies have had time to soak in this water. So I'm just taking them out. They're looking so much better than they were before. So I'm just going to get the radishes off of here. Now I'm just going to cut all the veggies. And this roasting pan that I've got the vegetables in is the one I'm going to use when I cook everything. I will definitely say, having them soak in this water really does help revive your fruit and veggies. I don't recommend doing it all the time, but every once in a while stuff just, it's forgotten and it just happens. I will say I do have potatoes, but I'm not going to deal with the potatoes. Some of this stuff is garbage, not compost. So I gotta remove these elastic bands. What did I do? Oh, got this one all tangled around the radishes. There we go. And I said, I do have potatoes, but they're down in the pantry. Before I grab potatoes, I'm just going to see how many other veggies I have that will fill up this pan. So just set them in the sink. Rinse this out, and then as I chop the veggies, I'm just going to throw them in here. So I've got my celery done. Now I will do my cauliflower. I was about to say broccoli, but no, this is the cauliflower. So I've got a few little brown spots on some of these. I'm just going to trim the brown spots off. Kind of cut up this cauliflower. I'm going to keep it in some bigger chunks just because I know everybody in my house loves cauliflower. Just trimming off some of this extra stem pieces here. And I've got my oven preheating on the convection roast at 425. I'm just watching the clock because I do have Bible study tonight, and so it's getting close to 5. It's about 4:45. So I have about 2 hours before I have to leave. I'm just hoping I can get all this ready before I have to leave. Oh, where's my knife? I'm just trying to find a good little paring knife here. So I can just cut these pieces off the radishes. And the radishes I'm just going to cut in half or quarters, kind of just depending on the size of them, and just throw them in here. And I have my asparagus. The asparagus I'm going to cook differently. I'm going to cook my asparagus in the microwave when I get home tonight. So it'll be like after 9:30. So I know supper will probably be late tonight, but that's okay. And I just have the carrots to peel and cut, and then the Brussels sprouts. So actually, I'll do the Brussels sprouts first, just because I do have a special way I do my Brussels sprouts. When doing my Brussels sprouts, I trim this off, and then any of the leaves that just want to fall off, I let them fall off, and then I'm just going to cut this into quarters or half, depending on the size of them. These are quite large ones, so I think quarters would work here. This is a smaller one, so maybe just in half. It's quite easy to do this. So I'm just going to go and cut up my, so I've got a bunch of Brussels sprouts, and then I've got my carrots. That's not a good carrot. Just got a few Brussels sprouts and carrots to do, and then I'll be back because I should be able to I'll get the roast out and put the roast around all the veggies, and I'll get it in the oven. Right, so my oven just beeped, so it means it is preheated already. Just going to move some of these vegetables around so I can get room for the roast in here. There, and I've got more carrots. Putting the rest of the carrots around. I just thought I'd wait till I got the roast in here before I put all the rest of the carrots in. And then I've got my green onions, and I'll be cutting those up in a second as well. Actually, to do my green onions, I'm just going to put my scissors back together here. There we go. I do find these little kitchen scissors work really good for doing this. I do have the herb ones. I just don't know where they are. I'm just going to I'll have to find my herb scissors. As fast as these kitchen ones are, those other ones actually do work a lot faster. And I'm going to save these. I'm going to see if I can actually grow onions out of here. I've never really been able to, but I always try. I'm going to trim that off. I'm just going to the green onions in half and then work with half at a time, because it's kind of tricky when cutting and half of it is hanging on and I can't see where I'm trying to cut. There we go. Just going to grab, I guess I left the lid downstairs, but I've got my meat set the thermometer here as well. I'll just put this in. And then I will run downstairs and grab the lid for this. But I might as well just get this meat thermometer in here first. There we go. Lead into the center and plug it in. Turn it on. Okay, and I am cooking, it is beef. And I do want it set to a well done because it is a pot roast. So it says it should go up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now this is sitting just below 50. So I'll put this in the oven and I'll be back to check on it in about an hour. I'll see where it is. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock. My thermometer is beeping at me, telling me that my meat has reached the right. I'm just gonna turn the thermometer off, and I'm just gonna pull out the roasting pan so you can see how it looks. I'll do this. So there is the pot roast with all the veggies, or most of the veggies. I said I'll do the asparagus when I get home tonight. Just trying to find this. Just lift up that. So we've got the Brussels sprouts, carrots, broccoli. We can find any of the radishes. I don't know. The radishes are down in there. They're cooked good. Everything looks good here. So to this, I'm just going to add a little bit of water on top because I didn't add any liquid just because I kind of forgot. So I'm just going to add some liquid on here and give it a stir. But you know, I said it's pretty much cooked. My thermometer is telling me that it's done. I'm looking at this and I said, even though the thermometer is telling me that, yes, the internal temperature has reached its temperature, there is still, I don't know, maybe if I get my camera this way, in there is still a little bit of pink, a little more than I like for a pot roast. Like I said, it's been in for almost an hour. Even though, you know, all the veggies are cooked and it reached the temperature and it was beeping, saying the internal temperature is the right temperature, I'm just going to put it back in for another half hour till I have to leave. And then when I leave, I will turn it down to just keep warm in the oven. So I'm just going to put this back in, see if the temperature will go up in the next half hour. And see if I can get it to, you know, or cooked a little bit the way I prefer it to be cooked. I'm going to take the pot roast out, give the veggies a good stir. I might actually take the veggies out of here and put them in their own little dish. Or I might just put this, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to separate the veggies and the pot roast now and put the veggies in their own container and the pot roast in its own container. And so yeah, I'll be back at in about half an hour before I leave. All right, so my timer is going off. Oops, turn the alarm off. There we go. I said I've had it in the oven for another about a half hour, so I'm going to pull it out and see if it looks more cooked now. I think it should be. Oh, I gotta take my glasses off. They're going to get steamed up again, and then I'm not going to be able to see. Oh, I just burnt my arm. Oh, probably going to leave a mark. The string from the thermometer. Done that before. Try not to, don't touch that. I'm going to say, yes, that looks so much more cooked. Just give me 1 second. Now, sorry, I just had to go rinse. I just go put water on my hand or my arm. It just, right where it hit, it just did whatever. I could see the mark. My arm is going red now. So, sorry about that. Okay, so it looks better. It's cooked. The temperature said it hit 171 Fahrenheit, which is the temperature for beef when it's well done. So I'm going to just try to pull this thermometer out without burning my arm again. If I can, because I just don't want to. There, I'm just going to get rid of this before I touch that again. Just throw it in the sink. So there we go. So there's the meat. It says it's the right temperature, 171. So I'm just going to put the lid back on. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I've got the big bowl here of the mixed veggies. So it's celery, asparagus, and here's the celery, Brussels sprouts, radishes, broccoli, not broccoli, I keep saying broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and green onion. So I'm just going to put these in the oven on warm, and I will finish Bible study, and I'll come back and I'll finish making dinner. So like I said, 6:30, I'll be back in about 3 hours to finish making dinner. Okay, so I've got my gravy done. I made these little pouch gravy, so I got 1 turkey, 1 mushroom, and 1 onion. So about 1 cup of water each. And here I've got the asparagus is cooked. And then there's the mixed veggies and the pot roast. Okay, so that is what I made for supper tonight. Like I said, there's just the pot roast, mixed veggies, gravy, and asparagus. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who subscribes to my channels, watches my videos, and I will see you in the next ones. Bye.